Hi everybody! Today we're going to review K-pop Demon Hunters. Let me give a review of this movie from a Korean perspective. But before I start, I have to give you guys a premise. So, I am someone who lived in Korea for 13 years and in America for 12 years. So I'm not fully 100% native Korean. I'm kind of fake Korean, you know? I live in Boston right now. So you could say, like, you shouldn't think my opinion is exactly same as someone who lived in Korea all their life. So the overall sensation of the movie. Before I watched it, I already thought this movie was gonna be very cringy. Like, oh my god. The most cringiest movie that exists, you know? And I'll be honest, when the movie started, you guys know the initial scene where they went like, I'm gonna eat my kimbap and the ramen and at the couch, and then they started singing while eating the kimbap and the ramen. Being really honest, okay, the food looked really good, but I was kind of thinking, is this kind of a movie? You know, like is this how the movie's gonna be like for the entire thing, where they like shout out every single Korean food? But it wasn't like that, you know. It was just in the beginning to give a little bit of taste of like Korean, and the whole movie, it actually didn't have any like too cringiness. I don't really think beside the initial, you know, like a Korean introduction, I don't think there was too much of a cringiness in the movie. Oh, actually, there was a plot twist where, you know, how Jinwoo actually betrayed his family. I genuinely think this movie was targeted towards children. It's not for children who are children right now. This movie is targeted for childrens who are really into K-pop, but now they became adult and they're in their 20s or late teens or 30s. It's for those people. So like you're watching it as a kid, like you were once a kid who liked K-pop. I don't know how you guys felt. I thought the voice acting for overall show was very nice. Usually a lot of animations don't have, like, you know, especially like when it comes to this kind of K-pop things, I have very low expectation of the voices because, you know, sometimes they have to pick someone famous and they're not professional voice actor, blah, blah, blah. But I liked every single person's voice acting. No one really stood out in particular. Being really honest, this is just a personal take. As a Korean person, I have a ick against when they try to mix in Korean word in between English sentences. This is just me personal ick. I don't like when Korean Americans say, so yeah, yesterday I picked up kimbap and then I went to eat ramen with my appa. It's kind of like a NCT Mark speaks like this, and I love Mark English. I'm not a big fan of it, and I kind of felt like that. I don't know if you guys agree. The part that I felt most was the word honmun. Whenever these characters say the word honmun, it kind of like throws me off a little bit. I'm just kind of like, it felt like, so we have to close the honmun. Like that just threw me off a little bit. I'm not, like, nothing's wrong with it. The pronunciation of the word. Can you explain more of that? honmun? It's not a common term. I'm sure it probably existed in Korean history and the traditional myth. It's not even like a commonly used myth, or else I would have known the term. It's not a commonly used term. Yeah. 귀마, I don't know how you guys felt about that word. 귀마 is a pretty commonly used in like traditional stories. honmun? Like also the pronunciation of honmun, like honmun, felt a little. The tiger was super cute. So this is a little bit of TMI. You know the three-eyed crow and the tiger? You know how they looked kind of atypical? Not like the typical bird, not like the typical tiger. They are actually from a famous Korean drawing. It's called The Crow and the Tiger. It's a very famous Korean drawing. It looks like this. Yeah. This is where they probably got the motif from. But it's not just this one single painting. This idea of crow and tiger is very common in Korean traditional history. Oh, okay. So there is multiple interpretation, and the tiger means a corrupt politician. Did you guys cry watching the movie? Okay, it's not a cry of a movie, but I kind of got sad. There's a scene where Jinwoo is doing a fan sign, and this little girl comes up to Jinwoo and hands him a drawing, and it says, "Jinwoo, you have a kind soul." Oh, I almost cried. Oh. And the scene where the three girls were fighting in the subway, and the main girl, Rumi, like, she kind of like crashed out and told her friend, well, like, stop showing your insecurities upon me, like, or something like that. Like, that's why you're, like, you know, that's why you're not, you don't have a family or something like that. Or, you know, oh yeah, main girl Rumi, like, stop projecting your insecurities or something like that. And I was like, oh my god, she's gonna regret that, you know? They didn't say all of that. It felt like all of that. It was kind of like all of that. Rumi is kind of a trash friend, not gonna lie. What do you guys think? I don't really know if she was a good friend, you know? Like, I don't know. Personally, you know who I also liked? Among the demons, you know how there was like a fangirl demon? There was a girl demon in the audience. Like, she appeared like twice. Whenever the Jinwoo and the Saja boys appeared, she was like, oh my gosh, I love you guys. Yeah, I like Jinwoo. You know what I really like about Jinwoo? I like the fact that he has a Korean accent when he speaks English. He didn't speak like, oh, Rumi, you know, meet me outside. He didn't say that. He was like, oh, Rumi, meet me outside. And Hyoseo, he's a Korean actor, right? Yeah. I liked the accent so much. In fact, I wish the other characters had more of that accent. But I think the character setting was that they were kind of like born in America, you know, so it makes sense. He's Canadian? I don't know. I still like the accent. I really like the whole, like, you could feel it throughout the entire show. And he had nice voice too. Talk with the accent rest of the stream since you like it so much. I could do it anytime. It's not difficult for me. I could speak like this for entire day and nothing will be a problem. But I know you guys don't like this, so I will stop doing this. I made the tiny hat for the tiger, but the bird keeps stealing it. Oh, I like that line too. But then, being really honest, I don't blame the bird because that hat was perfect size for the bird. What do you guys think about the song? I like the takedown more. People keep saying the entire characters from K-pop Demon Hunters is like copy of KDA from League. I don't know if you guys know KDA. But I was thinking, okay, I don't see any similarities because KDA was an animation that was supposed to mimic Korean Idol. And so was this show. So like, it's not necessarily like K-pop Demon Hunters copied KDA. They're both sort of like, you know, referencing K-pop Idol. So if anything, you have to kind of compare with the real idols rather than like comparing with KDA. I thought the Saja boys were literally ENHYPEN. Like, especially near the end when they were like all gathering up with the demons and they were saying something like, give me your desire. I was like, this is ENHYPEN, you know? Like, this is 80s, this is ENHYPEN. Literally, ENHYPEN's new album is what? Desire Unleashed? Even the characters sort of look like ENHYPEN characters. The food looked really good. This is such a good combination of food. You call this bunshik in Korean. These are the food that you eat in front of school. So like, a lot of girls and the young kids enjoy eating this. But, I mean, I'm a 25-year-old guy, but I love bunshik so much. I'm not a big fan of Rumi's hair. Neither the face. Zoe's cuter. What do you think about the animation? Flawless. I don't think it could be higher quality than this. You know? Like, this is literally possibly the highest quality we could get in 2025, right? I didn't feel a single bit of any iffiness with the animation. Disrespecting Felix. You can't compare. Okay, Felix literally is way good looking compared to this character. Felix looks way better. Yeah. I just realized, how does someone look better than animation character? Romance Saja is chopped? Wait, his name is Romance Saja? You guys know how it's called Saja Boys? I have to explain this. Do you know why they're called Saja Boys? Do you know what the word Saja means in Korean? So Saja is lion in Korean. That's why they have lion logos. But Saja also means dead people. That's why they're Saja Boys, because they're dead people. I thought that was very obvious to me, but I feel like a lot of English audience probably doesn't know about it. Yeah. Isn't that cool? I have to kind of like turn on my brain to think there are some things that are obvious from Korean speakers' perspective, but like not so much in English speakers' perspective. This is another thing. You know how they keep mentioning public bath? Did anyone kind of get confused like why the girls were so obsessed with public bath? Because I don't think I've seen anybody in America go to public bath. So the bath they were mentioning is not sauna. They're talking about public bath where everyone takes off their clothes. Like all of their clothes. Like they just had the clothes on because, you know, they couldn't show naked skin, but it was a bathhouse, not a sauna. So in Korea, going to bathhouse is kind of like your bro. You know, you've seen all their naked body and you're close, you have nothing to hide. That's why the girls kept saying, oh, you want to go to Bathhouse? Why won't you go to Bathhouse with us? Like, are you keeping distance? By the way, this is not a super common thing. I don't think girls nowadays really go to Bathhouse all that much, neither guys. But that's kind of like the concept of it. They don't wear towels? No. The towel thing was simply for like the audience and the movie. In real life, you don't wear towels. You go like full naked. You know how they broke into the male's bathhouse? Everybody had clothes on, but in real life, everyone's naked and you could see everyone's body. Did you guys know Kwima? The main evil guy? Did you guys know the voice actor for Kwima is Lee Byung-hun? Lee Byung-hun is also the actor for Frontman in Squid Game. Yeah, same person. And just to let you guys know, he is unbelievably famous top actor in Korea. He's like Brad Pitt or like Tom Hanks of Korea, if that makes sense. He's the most famous male actor in Korea. So I'm kind of surprised they were able to hire him for voice acting because he's probably so expensive and they seriously hired him for the voice actor. So I'm kind of like, I guess they had a lot of money for this project because they could have hired a random guy and no one would have cared. But I thought it was kind of interesting. I find it funny that if the Saja boys were real, we would have totally fallen for them. I agree. Yo, who would your bias be in Saja boys? I like Jinwoo the best, but I usually don't go for the most popular character. I usually go for a member that isn't as popular. So while keeping Jinwoo at first place, I would say my bias is the mystery Saja. The one that doesn't show the face. Yeah. I like him. Wait, but I don't like the fact that he barks. Jinwoo's like the only sane one. The other ones all have like a little bit of mental illness. Wait, I should have said something like that. But yeah. The hot sauce eating scene, I was kind of like, I kind of watched it with a straight face. The goo goo gaga and the hot sauce and also, you know what I didn't understand the whole time? You know what I didn't understand the entire time? Okay, I don't get why Jinwoo keep trying to gaslight Rumi as if they're same. Like, what I mean by that is, okay, whoa, Jinwoo, I like you, but you clearly did something wrong, and that's why you became a demon. But Rumi was just born as half demon. Why are you trying to say, like, she also committed a sin, you know? Like, she didn't do anything wrong. Why do you say, like, it's your guilt and your sin? Like, she didn't do anything. So, K-pop Demon Hunters, would I watch if season 2 comes out? Yes, I would. I feel like they're going to make a musical off of this. And I feel like it would do well because it has so many songs in it. You know? Did you guys know that Korean people have harder time understanding Korean if it's written in Romanized? Like, I can't read Romanized Korean. Like, I genuinely can't. Like, I could if I take my times. But like, if I have it in front of me, I can't recognize it. So they're singing the songs and there's Romanized Korean lyrics, and I'm like, 지금 내가. I'm just like, wait, what are they saying? Yeah. So I actually couldn't understand the Korean lyrics. So later in the song, I had to not look at the lyrics, the Romanized lyrics, and just hear the words.